If you're overspending when you're doing your food shop, if you're going over budget, then you're probably making some very, very simple mistakes. So these are 8 food shopping mistakes that you might be making. Food shopping is something that we literally all have to do. We have to buy food. It's one of those things that is difficult to try and cut back on. It's difficult to try and save money on it because we literally need food to live. So you might be making some of these really, really simple mistakes, but don't worry if you are. It's so easy to do, and we're not all perfect. You know, I sometimes make these mistakes myself, and I like to call myself a money saving expert. So here we are. We're just going to get straight into it. Point number 1, you're focusing on too many snacks. Now, I'm a massive snacker. I love snacks, I love biscuits, I love sweet things. But snacks these days are so expensive. Everything's going up in price. I'm looking at things that have literally doubled in price since like a few months ago. All my favourite things are getting so expensive. And it is putting me off by them, but sometimes I do pick them up because it's okay to treat yourself. Obviously, it's okay to treat yourself. But if you're buying too many snacks, it might be because your meals aren't substantial enough. I think it's important to focus on getting a lot of nutritional value out of the meals that you're eating. 3 meals a day, maybe 4 meals. Sometimes I eat 4 meals a day because I get hungry. I'm a hungry girl, okay? Sometimes I'll eat 4 meals a day, but even then that will stop me from having so many snacks because I'm eating more substantial meals. So I think that's a really, really important point. To save a little bit of money, try and cut back on your snacking. Number 2, you're not meal planning. Now, meal planning is so important to save money on your food shop because you're literally planning out everything that you need to buy, everything and all the amounts, you know, the weights of food that you need as well. And when you're meal planning, you're literally writing down exactly how much you need of each food item and the exact meals that you're going to be eating every single day for the week. Obviously, you don't need to do it weekly. You can do it however often you want. I follow somebody on TikTok who does a monthly meal plan. They are so organized. I don't think I could ever be that organized. But basically, meal planning is a great way to save money because you're buying exactly what you need and it stops you from overbuying. Which leads me on to point number 3. If you are throwing food away, that's probably because you are overbuying, and that's probably because you haven't done your meal plan. So it all kind of comes full circle. So again, have a look at how much food you're actually throwing away and what type of food you're throwing away. Often it will be fresh food. Maybe you've bought too many vegetables, too much fruit this week, you haven't eaten it and it's just gone straight in the bin because it's gone out of date. These kind of things that go out of date quickly are the things that you need to look out for. Again, I was making that mistake. I was throwing away a lot of fresh food because I just wasn't eating it. So now I do 2 food shops a week, and that allows me to buy fresh food twice during the week, and it's fresh. You eat it, you go shopping again a second time in the week and you'll eat it straight away. So that's kind of a way that I get around that. Mistake number 5 is you're not shopping your cupboards. Now, I absolutely love this tip. You basically look in your cupboards, everything that you've got, and you base meals around the things that you already have available to you, stopping you from buying things that you don't need. So for example, if I've got loads of pasta already in my cupboards, maybe I'll have a couple of pasta meals that week. Maybe I'll have like 3 or 4 pasta meals that week to save myself from buying extra food when I could use up basically what I have already got available to me in my cupboards. And obviously you could also do this for fresh food that you've got and for freezer food. If you've got something left over in your fridge and you don't want to throw it away, just think, okay, I'm going to make a meal out of that this week, or basically I'm going to make a meal out of that today. Obviously if it's fresh, you don't want it going out of date. So it's a really, really useful tip to base meals off of the things that you already have, and it stops you from buying more things that you really, really don't need to buy. And number 5 is shopping when you're hungry. I have been terrible at this in the past. You go and do your food shop when you're hungry and it makes you buy more food because you think, I want that now, that looks great, I'm going to buy that now because I'm hungry now. And it's a terrible way to do food shop. It's always a lot better to go food shopping after you've eaten, stick to your list, and you're not going to buy things that you don't need just because you're hungry. Number 6, you're not checking the price per weight. Now, on a lot of food items, it will have a tiny little bit of writing on the price label saying the price per 100 grams. And this is basically what you want to look at to make sure you're getting the best value for money, especially if it's something that you can keep in the cupboard for a long time. Because often the smaller version of the product looks cheaper, and you know, it's a cheaper price than the bigger version, but the bigger version of the product is cheaper per the amount that you get, if that makes any sense at all. I explained that absolutely terrible, but basically you just want to be checking the price per weight to make sure that you are getting the best value for money, especially if it's something that you use often. You know, for example, let's say a small tin of coffee versus a big tin of coffee. You're going to get through the coffee, you know, and it lasts for a long time in your cupboard anyway, but the bigger one is often going to be cheaper per weight. Mistake number 7 is impulse buying. I've got quite good at this recently. I do not impulse buy as much as I used to, and we're going to come back to the point about meal planning, because the way to get over impulse buying is by meal planning. When you plan your meals and you plan exactly what you need and you write that shopping list, it's going to stop you from buying things that are not on the list, buying things that you don't need, and impulse buying. So I really encourage writing a shopping list every time you go shopping, even if you just need a few little bits. Write that list, stick to that list, and you're not going to impulse buy. And number 8, and this is the last point, you might only be buying branded items because you think they taste better. Now, a lot of the time, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but a lot of the time the branded item and the non-branded item are the exact same product, but it's in different packaging, and this happens so often. I would definitely recommend trying out the cheaper version, the non-branded version of something that you buy regularly. There is no harm in trying out the cheaper version. You might actually like it better. There are quite a few things that I like the cheaper version better than the branded, more expensive version. So those were my really quick points on mistakes that you might be making while you're doing your food shop that's costing you a lot of money. So stop making these food shopping mistakes and you will see your food bill drastically drop. Make sure you comment any tips that you have, like this video, and subscribe for more money saving content.